All right, we're going to watch this in full speed first, and we're going to point out just a few things that you're going to see. All right. Whenever I'm watching this, one of the first things that I'm going to do, number one, I'm going to see how he starts. And the first thing that you'll see is he's going to have that front foot, the front leg locked, and it's bent. So we're going to see the effect. You notice this here. I'm always watching for shadows under the shoes because that tells me where the weight shift is. And the reason I'm looking for the weight shift is because whenever you see the feet shifting back and forth, that's always the first sign of a lack of pelvic control. And most often the lack of pelvic control is due to a lack of hip proprioception or awareness. You just don't really have a feel for how the hips are to move. So that's what I'm watching for. What you're going to see is, watch as soon as you go, see how the weight shifts to the heel, which is going to be very important because that's a compensation that's going to create all these problems that's going to show up downstream as symptoms in others. The next thing I want you to watch, because he's on his heel, he can't really ever rotate. But before I get there, I want to back up one step. Let's do something. This is extremely, extremely important right here. I'm going to draw a line right across there. And I want you to notice how he's already sitting before he moves. Again, just another example of not knowing how to move through the middle. So as he goes through to the heel, watch how the hip and knee has already begun to open. This is just a series of compensations. The brain's always quick to make roster changes, and whenever one part of the body's not doing its job, it's going to recruit the other. So what he does here is, because he doesn't utilize the center, he's going to start to open up early. Because he opens up early, watch the path of the arm, how long it's going to get. It's going to go into passing the acromial line, which is going to put a lot of stress on the shoulder and the labrum because it's moving that head out of its centralized position. The next thing you're going to see is watch how the heel or the toe points to the sky. Now this is usually a pretty good indicator of quad dominant pitchers. And then the second thing is watch the foot. See how it starts to turn? He's just trying to get the hips open. And notice how late the arm is. So what he's doing is, as he goes to the heel, he's to the heel, he can't open, so the body's going to compensate. It's going to go to the ball of the foot here. And whenever he goes to the ball of the foot there, he's just simply pushing the head forward. You see the position that he's at when he's landing? So he's just leaving the arm behind because he's not in a position to throw. This back hip and foot has to leave the ground early in order to allow the goal of throwing the baseball to occur. So watch his hip action. It's just going to simply go up and over. There's no rotation whatsoever, and there can't be rotation simply because of the first move. As soon as he gets into that quad here without moving, that's the trickle-down effect. So everything else that you're seeing is just appearing downstream. So there's what you're going to see, and this is one reason why with players like this, they're going to tend to struggle with command. They're often complaining of shoulder or elbow pain, and the reason is because the body's just simply moving as one piece. Watch this. See how the hips and the shoulders are just moving as one piece?